Hello everyone, welcome to week 1 lecture video. The topic for week 1 is the role of business research and business research process. So we will be covering two chapters in this week, chapters 1 and 4. So first of all, chapter 1, role of business research. The learning objectives of this chapter is firstly to identify what do we mean by business research. We will differentiate between basic research and applied research. And we will see how research activities can be used to address business decisions. And finally, we will understand that when we should do business research and when we should not. First of all, business research. What do we mean by business research? If I provide a very textbook definition, then business research is the application of a scientific method to find out the solution of a business problem. So I will describe two words. First of all is research and scientific method. So look at the word research. All of we know the meaning of the word search, to find out something. So when general people find out something, they actually search. However, the researchers involve research. So they actually provide a more careful look, a more informative look to find out the solution to a problem. In scientific method, when we say scientific method, it should have three characteristics. It should be objective and accurate. It should not support any preconceived idea, and it should not be biased. So first of all, I say that business research method has to be objective and accurate. So objective means it should not depend on researchers' subjective judgment. So a scientific research method is the one, if it is used by different researchers, they will come up with the same conclusion because it is a objective method. Then it has to be accurate. Everybody understands the meaning of accuracy. Scientific method should provide accurate result. The second one, as I said, that it has to be free from any preconceived ideas. That means when we do a business research, we should not have a preset agenda or preset idea in our mind, and by doing the research we try to establish that. We should be open-minded to accept the research result. And finally, a scientific method is a one that is not biased to anyone. Now, business research includes different stages or different steps. I'm not going to discuss these steps in detail here because we will have separate chapters on most of these stages, like idea and theory development, problem definition. We will have one separate chapter on problem definition, searching for and collecting information, analyzing data, communicating the findings and their implications. Now we will be discussing the difference between applied research and basic research. So on the basis of the purpose of the research, we can differentiate them into applied research and basic research. Applied research is the one that is conducted to address a specific problem of a specific organization. Whereas in the next class slide, we will see basic business research. Basic research is the one that is not conducted to address any specific problem of a specific organization. Rather, basic research addresses a general problem, a general issue, and outcome of the research will provide an addition to the general body of knowledge. If I give you some examples, for example, McDonald's is doing a research to find out if they should add Italian pasta in their dinner menu or not. So you understand that it is addressing a specific problem. Should Italian pasta be added in dinner menu? A specific problem of a specific organization, McDonald's. So this is an applied research. On the other hand, If we do a research, for example, what motivates manager to perform their duties towards the organization, or what motivates employees, or what motivates students to achieve their goals. If we do this type of research, then we are actually doing basic research, because we are not addressing any particular problem of a particular organization. Rather, we are doing a general research to solve a general issue and to add a general body of knowledge. Scientific method, as I already discussed, scientific method, basically the way researchers use the knowledge and evidence to provide an objective conclusion. So scientific method involves these stages. We base on prior knowledge and observation, we develop some hypotheses. For example, as I just gave you an example that if we do a research that what motivates managers, let's say it's a salary. So on the basis of our knowledge and observation, we develop hypotheses like salary has a positive relationship with managers' motivation. So we develop hypotheses like this. Then we collect data like how motivated the managers are and their salaries. We collect data. We conduct some hypothesis testing, some analysis, and we conclude that whether our hypothesis is valid or not. We will be discussing more detail on hypothesis later. Managerial values of business research. There are three orientations of business research, and almost all the organizations belong to one of these orientations. These are product orientation, production orientation, and marketing orientation. So a particular firm may be product oriented, it may be production oriented, or it may be marketing oriented. A production oriented firm, for example, a fashion house, a production oriented firm prioritizes decision making that emphasizes physical product design, trendiness, or technical superiority. So here, the product's physical attributes gets priority. On the other hand, a production-oriented firm prioritizes efficiency and effectiveness of production process. For example, US auto industry is trying to establish a cost-efficient assembly line. So it's a production-oriented because it's not focusing the physical attribute of the product, rather an efficiency of the production line. On the other hand, if a firm is marketing-oriented, it focuses on how the firm provides value to its customers. For example, a well-known hotel chain are designing a package for their travelers. Now you may wonder that why we are discussing that whether a firm is production-oriented or product-oriented or marketing-oriented. Actually, it is necessary to understand because when we are doing a business research, if a firm is product-oriented, production-oriented, or marketing-oriented, that will determine that who will be the focus for the research. For example, if a firm is product-oriented and we're doing a business research, then we should focus on technicians and experts in the field. If we are doing a business research for production-oriented firm, then we will be focusing on line employees, engineers, accountants, or other efficiency experts. Or if we are doing a research for marketing-oriented firm, then we will be focusing customers. Managerial values of business research. Actually, you understand that decision-making process that is followed in a business, that is actually involves implementation of business strategy, and that has different stages. For example, first of all, this decision-making process starts with identifying problems and opportunities. We try to identify what problems we have, what opportunities we have. We not only identify, we deeply understand these problems and opportunities. Then we identify how to implement a course of action to solve this problem or achieve these opportunities. And last of all, we evaluate the course of action. That means our decision-making process doesn't end with implementing a particular course of action. Once the course of action is implemented, we also look at if the results we are getting are consistent with what we expected or not. If we find that the results we obtain is not consistent with what we expected, then we need to revise our course of action. Sometimes we might find that the actual result might be better than our expected result, but we should not be very happy, because if there is a deviation between expected result and actual result, that even might indicate that our estimation or our forecasting was not good. So once we identify a problem, we deeply understand, we need to deeply understand that problem. We need to find out what are the alternative courses of action we have to solve these problems. We need to implement the best one according to our knowledge. And after implementation, we time to time should take feedback to see that if the decision making that we have done is consistent with what we expected. Now we will discuss that when we should do a research and when we should not. Or if we can do a business research anytime we want. Actually, sometimes we may not be able to do research for some constraints. For example, time constraints. We may not be able to do a research because of the limited time. You know that sometimes business managers need to take decisions immediately, need to take decisions overnight, need to take decisions without collecting and analyzing data. Although that might not be an ideal situation, however, managers take decisions because the situation wants that. So, due to time constraints, we may not be able to do a research. To do business research, another prerequisite is data. Whenever we want to conduct any research, very important proposition is the availability of data. If we do not have available data, we may not be able to do research. And then the nature of the decision to be made. What type of decisions we are going to take, that also determines that whether we should do a research or not. For example, if we are doing a very regular, if you're taking a very regular decision, then we may not be doing a research. However, if we are taking a decision that involves a lot of time and money, then we may need to do a research. Let me give you two examples. Let's say a software company is introducing a new software, and this is one. Another one is they're updating an user manual of their existing software. Now, in which case they should do a research and in which case they should not. The one that they are introducing a new software probably warrants a business research because that involves a lot of investment. On the other hand, when they're updating a user manual of their existing software, that might not require research because that is a regular decision they take. The final one, and I would say that the most important one, is the cost and benefit of doing a research. You know, research is expensive. So when we do research, we need to estimate what benefits we're expecting and what cost we will involve. If we expect that the benefit will be higher than the cost, only then we should do the research, otherwise we should not. So the summary of this chapter is we understand what is business research, the difference between basic and applied research, and when we should do research and when we should not. Please see the next video for the rest of the lecture for week 1. Thank you.